Hello, my name is Lexac, and this is the updated panel. This is going to be open sourced once it is done, and you can build it for free or purchase a kit that has everything that you need to build this. It's an updated panel with an LCD display, and it uses very little parts, and all of the parts are pretty cheap, so this is quite affordable for anyone who is in the fire alarm system hobby. So insert the key, that unlocks the panel. This panel has a menu that you can adjust settings in. Has different testing methods. Settings menu. You can adjust the fire alarm settings, such as the coding. You can adjust verification. You can enable it or disable it entirely, and you can also adjust how long it does verification for. Pre-alarm is not yet implemented, but I am working on that. Audible silence, you can change whether the strobes stay on once the panel is silenced. Under panel, you can change the panel name. You can change the panel security to use no key switch if you don't want to use a key switch. And this key switch is much more heavily implemented as opposed to the last panel. As soon as you turn this, the panel is completely locked out. So you cannot do anything on here without the key inserted. You can have the LCD automatically dim after a certain amount of time, or disable it entirely. You can obviously factory reset it, and I will show you another method for factory resetting, and it allows you to factory reset in the case that you enable key protection, but don't actually have the key set up. So about this firmware revision 1.1, it is called Antigneous. And here's system normal. You can start a drill. I'll do that later. But one huge thing that this has over the other panel, the old panel, which is actually right here, the breadboard design, is that it actually has end-of-line resistors. So if I go up here with smoke detector that has the end-of-line in here and just remove it, the panel goes into trouble. And currently, it doesn't display the zone, which will be fixed. But you can silence it if you want to, but this will always be blinking because obviously it can't trip now because the loop is not closed. So I'm gonna put the smoke detector back. And once the panel is in trouble, I have it set up so it can't like exit trouble unless you reset it. But anyway, let's trip the alarm. So displays zone 1 and zone 2 because this is zone 1 and zone 2 because this panel is a 2-zone panel, but the one that I built right here only has 1 zone, so this counts as zone 1 and zone 2. But once it is silenced, this continues blinking. Ready LED turns off because it can no longer be re-alarmed. So now it is reset, and I will show you the drill button. And I will now show you the walk test feature, which is pretty standard on most panels. So throws it into supervisory, radio LED turns off, and it shows zone 1 and zone 2. And since this is 2-zone, but this counts as both zones, this zone 1 and zone 2 doesn't really properly show, but there you go. It pulses the zone number, and then it increments it on here, and then you have to reset it once you're done. I'm going to change the coding real quick. So throw it into, let's see, we'll do March time. And there is a way to reset the panel in the case that you add the key switch lock in the panel, but don't actually have a key switch, because that would lock you out, obviously. You can disconnect it from the power supply, and while it's rebooting, you hold down all 3 buttons. It'll say hold buttons to factory reset. I'm going to let go because I don't want to factory reset it, but that is how you can reset it. And a new panel that hasn't been configured has the key switch off. So yeah, this is in the works. It has a pretty big documentation that I'm writing, full of technical details. All the parts here will be available, so you can build it for free, assuming you have all the parts, of course. Or you can get a PCB from me that has the firmware already flashed. So yeah, I will be posting updates for when this is available. Thank you for watching.